Hey, what's going on? It's Alex Jones with Infowars here. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Wanted to talk today a little bit about offending people and what you should think about it, or at least what I've been thinking about it recently. I had stumbled upon a quote. Well, actually, somebody had kind of sent this quote in a chat room, and it resonated with me, and later found out who had said the quote. But the quote was by Nassim Taleb, and it goes like this: To have a stable social life, filter out those who get easily offended by offending them early on. And he did get a lot of flack for this because people kind of understood it to be that you should just offend people if you want to have a stable social life. Stable, I don't know, can't speak properly. If you want to have a stable social life, then you should just go ahead and offend people. When Nassim Taleb kind of took the moment to clarify, he meant that it doesn't mean that one should offend people. It means that if people will eventually end up being offended, it is much better to be offended earlier on than late. I'm not sure if you guys can think of any cases off the top of your head of people who are easily offended in your life, or perhaps in the news, or whatever it be, but these people tend to be a little neurotic and egocentric. Things tend to sit on their conscience a little heavier than some people, and it's kind of hard to deal with these people sometimes because they're a little rash and unpredictable, and you never know what could possibly offend them by what you say next. So I understand what Nassim Taleb is saying here, in that. Don't worry too much. If you do offend people, you kind of want to find those people you can offend early on and still have you can still have a respect for one another, I guess you could say. You guys have known and seen that I have made some videos, like one of them being socialism versus capitalism, and I've gotten some various feedback and whatnot. And the one encouraging thing I have heard is that I enjoyed hearing your opinions on this, but I don't totally agree, and I could not welcome that attitude more. I think it's good to explore different ideas, to debate, to explore philosophical ideas. And if people are so close-minded and so easily offended, it's hard to progress as a society and to come to a truth, if you will, that will bring society to its happiest, most capable self, right? So you want to find these people who, that they might be offended, but they're still going to stick around. You know, they don't take that as like a shot to the heart or a dagger in the back. They know that maybe they might have a different opinion from you, but maybe your aim or motivation is not to tear that person down, but just to have a thought-provoking conversation. Yeah, I've been kind of living by this a little more recently, ever since I have heard of this saying, and I don't try to offend people, but I've been a little less concerned about it, I guess, if you will. I've noticed a certain air of political correctness, at least within Canada, and what seems to be in mainstream and alternative media. People um, are scared to offend, and rightfully so. You know, people don't want to create enemies for no reason. They don't want to disadvantage themselves just because of one silly thing they had said, and I get that. It makes sense. But on the flip side as well, if you're very firm and strong on your values and morals, I don't think that it does anybody any good to constantly compromise those morals. If you truly do believe they are good morals and virtues that will better society, then I don't think you should run away from those ideas just because you'll get a little bit of flack and maybe unpopular attention for it. I think that's kind of the hardest thing to do, is to say those unpopular opinions because you truly believe they're right, even if everybody in the world might hate on you. And I guess that goes within reason as well. There's certain people who may believe violence is the absolute answer and are completely convicted in that idea, and I would tend to disagree with those people. But I think that thoughtful, open conversation and emotional conversation where you do your best to not let your emotions get involved in the conversation really do help society push forward. I mean, I know I'm pretty guilty of this myself. When I see someone who has a conflicting idea with me, it kind of takes me a second to slow down and realize, you know what, don't attack this person. It's not going to do anybody any good. But if you come at the problem with more of a loving attitude and wanting to share the truth and improve well-being for everybody, I think that you will end up receiving better results. It's life's kind of short to worry about offending too many people. There's so many things you could say that could easily offend a niche group of people and can alienate yourself off from public opinion and exposure and whatnot. But I don't know if that does anybody any good. I think you should use the law as a compass to begin with. All of your relevant laws, including local, state, provincial, federal laws. If you're operating within those varied levels of law, then I think you have a bit less. I think you have a little bit less to worry about if you are operating within the law and are just purely voicing unpopular opinion. Um, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Are you kind of hesitant when you talk to people? You don't want to offend them. I've definitely been there, and to me, it's more of a frantic attitude, and you don't really know deep down what your values or virtues are. Sometimes when you act in that manner, you kind of get more caught up in just following the groups and not really forming solid, reasonable beliefs within your own self. And I think that if more people took that time and effort to really realize what is important to them and to the world, and to act on that and to speak on that and to be that, then the world would be a better place. And that's kind of when I was talking about the whole socialism versus capitalism thing. I think it's a little easy. Throw all economical philosophies and political philosophies aside, it's a little easy to claim that I might be lacking in this certain area, so if only the society and public came together and to give everybody more of that, I'd be better off. And maybe that's true for certain cases, like healthcare and whatnot, but I think that individual responsibility is it's the true essence of being a human being. At the end of the day, if you're just following pure biological urges and are being pulled by those sorts of things, I don't think we're really any better than any other animal or living being. I think the greatest thing about being human is that we can sometimes acknowledge that there's an easy and a hard path, and the easy path might be more alluring, it might be more fun, might bring more pleasure, but deep down we can understand that the hard path will bring us better well-being in the long run, and that if we do go that hard route and harness our discipline and work hard and focus ourselves, then it will pay off in the long run. And I really do believe that's kind of the essence of the human spirit, and that's what sets us apart from different animals, is that we can choose to do those hard things, and we can understand that they're not so easy, and that there's many other options that are very hard or easy. If you're not acting in a way that you truly believe will better the world, then how can we expect the world to be better, right? If everybody's acting that way, then the world's not going to get any better. So that's why I've been trying to do my best and do my part in sharing ideas. I mean, I can't make anybody believe anything, but if I talk in a certain way, maybe some people will be open-minded to kind of explore the truth, and in that endeavor, we will be better as a society and a civilization. Yeah, I think my mind is getting a little blurred. I don't think I have much more to say on the topic other than stick to your guns, stick to your roots, do the hard thing more often, and you'll be surprised at what inner strength you actually have and how fast the world can actually better itself if we have a ripple effect of people actually taking self-responsibility and doing the hard things. Don't worry about offending people too much as long as you're acting lawfully and not violating any hate speech laws or anything like that. I don't think you got to be smart. Don't just walk into situations and start spouting all this kinds of dogmatic ideas and whatnot and expect to be invincible. I think we have to take the responsibility on ourselves. We have to be smart individuals. We have to work and do the hard things. And I think that's what will make the world a better place. Individual action, individual speech, and individual responsibility. If we all do that together, then we can make the world a great place. And it's going to be extremely hard. It's going to be painful in many ways, and it's not going to be easy. But if you truly do want to see the world and civilization grow in a proper manner that brings a more well-rounded well-being to everybody and a higher standard of living, I think that's what we have to do. That's just my 2 cents. As you know, my 2 cents don't mean much, but it always it helps to talk about things and whatnot. So, yeah, I think I'm blabbering on at this point and not making much sense. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you didn't, thanks so much anyway. Thanks for wasting your time with me. Alright guys, all the best. Take care.